Welcome back. In this video, I want to explain to you how our mind works and why and how childhood trauma affects us. And I've prepared a presentation for this one. So our mind consists of the conscious part and the subconscious part. The conscious part is 5% and subconscious is 95%. The conscious part is all that logical, analytical thinking. And the subconscious mind is everything we've ever heard, learned, felt, done, experienced, smelled, or tasted. And in our subconscious mind are emotions, feelings, sensations, and all our limiting beliefs stored. And in between the conscious and the subconscious mind is a wall. That was that black line that was drawn before. And that wall is called the critical factor, or also I like to call it a security guard. So normally that security guard is there and doesn't let anything in. So consciously you could think, I don't want to be anxious. But if there's an anxious program in the subconscious mind, the security guard is like, no, you're not coming in and you're still feeling anxious. So you're going to wonder now, how did all those things get into the subconscious mind in the first place? Like, how did all those limiting beliefs and emotions get there in the first place? Well, there's 5 things that bypass that critical factor. The first thing is age. Age of 0 to 7 or even 0 to 12, there is no security guard. So anything you experience at that age, you hear, you feel, you see, gets into the subconscious mind. So for example, you could tell a child that that's the color yellow. And that child would walk around believing it's yellow until someone else says, no, that's actually blue. The next one is repetition. So if something was done over and over again, if something happened over and over again, or if you heard something over and over again, it gets into your subconscious mind. A good example for that is driving a car. So first when you drive a car, you have to think about all the steps. And after driving, for a certain amount of time, you just get in the car and you do it automatically. Because you've done it so many times, it gets into your subconscious mind. The third one is authority and trust. So if something was done to you by a person that was authority or trust, or if a person of authority and trust told you something, such as the mother telling the child that that's a different color, it gets into the subconscious mind. So as a child, that's your parents, your caretakers, your teachers, could even older sibling, uncle, auntie. When you get older, it could be a mentor or a doctor. So when they tell you something, or as a child, when they have done something to you, it gets into your subconscious mind. And the fourth one is heightened emotion. So when you're really, really happy or really, really sad, or any of those, doesn't matter of positive or negative emotion, that security guard is so caught up with the emotion that things get in. So now imagine you're a child and something was done to you. You're a child between age of 0 and 7, or it could even be 0 and 12. I'm not too set up on the exact age bracket. And if something was done to you over and over again by a person that you trusted, and as a child, we feel heightened emotions all the time. Think about 4 factors bypassed at once. Think about how deep that is gone in your subconscious mind. So that's why the things that happen in our childhood, or the things we experience in our childhood, go very, very deep into our subconscious mind. And the 5th thing is an altered state, such as hypnosis. And that's where we use hypnosis to our advantage. We bypass that critical factor and we get into the subconscious mind and we reprogram the subconscious mind. Yeah, so that explains it again. And it's so important to understand that when you are working on inner child work, because when something happened to you at a young age by a person that you've trusted over and over again, and you felt that heightened emotion, that's where it's in there. That's why it's in your subconscious mind. And that's why you keep repeating those patterns over and over again in your adult life. And that's why those childhood traumas often cause those deep issues, those limiting beliefs and insecurities. And all these factors impact the way you view the world today. And what happens is you create those limiting beliefs, you create those emotions as a child, and then you end up attracting those things into your adult life. So you might attract those people into your adult life that tell you, you're not good enough. Or you might create situations that you're not good enough. Or you might even, you don't even believe yourself that you're good enough. So how is everyone else going to think that you're good enough? And the key thing is that nothing traumatic needs to happen. So whether it's a traumatic experience or a non-traumatic experience, whatever happens in our childhood creates those beliefs and the emotions, and it shapes us, the way we view the world. So imagine you're a child, you have a happy childhood, you're the age of 2 years, and a younger sibling is born. And you run to your mom and you're like, Mom, look at that beautiful drawing that I made. And mom's like, shh, I can't right now, I'm feeding the baby. And you walk away. And then 2 hours later, you come to mom again and you're like, look, Mom, I cleaned up my room. And your mom's like, psh, be quiet, baby's sleeping. I don't have time, I gotta cook right now. That's a very everyday situation. But that's enough for that little 2-year-old child to create the limiting belief, I'm not good enough. I'm not loved. No one cares about me. These are everyday things. And you know what? It might not sound that traumatic, but for that little child, that was very traumatic. So that's why we got to understand that our childhood affects us, whether we classify this as a traumatic event or as a non-traumatic event. If it is holding you back in your life, well, then you are still victim of your childhood. And a lot of us are. All you little child, you little you, wanted safety, love, and protection. And if one of those things wasn't there, that's enough for a child to feel like a traumatic thing happened. And as a child, we're very creative. We create solutions. So a lot of people that say that have been abused in their childhood create the solution of they're not trusting anyone anymore. And you know what? Maybe through the teenage years, that was a great solution. So they were careful with who they were trusting, who they were opening up to. And that's fine because it was a solution. It kept them safe. But then you become an adult and you want to have a loving, trusting, and healthy marriage, but you don't trust your partner, or doubt it's going to be a loving, healthy, and trusting marriage. So once that was a solution, turns into a problem as an adult. And that's when you got to do something about it. Because when that solution is holding you back in your adult life, it's not a solution anymore. It turned into a problem. And why this process is different? So in this process, you don't have to go back and relive it. Because if it was a really traumatic event, it's not good to go back. People don't want to go back and relive the traumatic event. And a lot of the times we've actually forgotten some details. We don't remember every detail. And that's good. Let's not remember those details. There's a reason why we don't remember everything. And sometimes we don't even know exactly what happened. We just know we're being held back by the past. And we think we feel like we had a great childhood, but we're still being held back by it. And the reason why we don't have to go back and relive it is because your inner child has never left you. Your inner child is still part of you. And it's basically you, the adult version, and your inner child version that are not in alignment. And that's what we want to create with this process. An alignment between your adult self and your inner child version. Most traditional therapy works with the 5% of the mind, with the conscious part of the mind. And that's why it might take years to be successful. To get that long-lasting and rapid change, we got to work with the subconscious mind, with the 95% of the mind, but also in combination with the conscious part of the mind. We never want to forget about that. So I hope you enjoyed that video, and I hope you got a bit more insight on how childhood trauma affects us. Enjoy the next video.